Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Matt, and I'm back with Kerbal Space Program Hard Career Mode. Last episode we did I did a long flight in an upgraded version of the box top, and off camera I did another one to the EVA reports near the North Pole, and I found out a few things. First off, the plane is still up there because I wanted to show you something, and because I forgot to do a couple experiments right over the polar region. So here we are. We're landed, and if you follow me on Twitter you might have seen the screenshot I made when Bob was outside of the plane with the moon over the mountains. First off, we need to reactivate the engines. This. And actually first we go to map view, because I found out something. I was wondering how to keep my craft pointed at, or how to find the place where I have to go, such as this sector. Well, I should have tried it in the video. You can click it and activate the navigation. And with that you end up with a little sign on your nav bar. So there's that. Okay. The good thing about the polar region is that the ground is very flat. So landing isn't much of a, actually taking off isn't a problem. Yeah, as you can see on the nav ball there is the little icon for the place where we would have to go for the crew report. However, that's a bit too high up for us to actually get there, so I think I'll just point the plane a bit more towards the space center, more or less. Okay, there's on, so it holds. Because what I wanted to do was observe the mystery goo. Ah no, I already... that was not very smart, that's not giving us a lot, but I can log the temperature flying over Kerbin's ice caps. And we can do another crew report and keep that data as well. And I also noticed that if you're going on a long-range flight at high altitude, it's actually better to go at full thrust rather than 2/3, because I've started out at, don't know, 5 kilometers of altitude, and at 2/3 thrust I ended up with let me think, with about 110-120 meters per second, and full thrust had me at just under 250. On the other hand, if you go at 2/3 thrust, it's better to not go all that high, Because as you can see, we're not even at 4,000 meters and we can hold 200 meters per second without a problem. The thing is also that when you go to full thrust, the plane actually wants to get higher. So if I was to turn off SAS and push the throttle up, then the plane would start climbing by itself. Probably because of the air density. Yeah, another thing, I started to say landing is easier on the ice caps because the ground is so flat. Actually it isn't. That is, the ground is rather flat, but landing isn't easier. Especially because it's night or dawn here, which is also nice. You don't see a shadow when you're approaching the ground. What I've done to land the craft off camera was actually switch to the cockpit view, because otherwise, because in that view I have the radar altimeter, and with that I know how high above the ground I actually am. And that meant it was I was a little less likely to crash. And yeah, this mission has been going on for just under 2 hours, which is alright, I guess, for the distance covered and the fuel spent. Oh yeah, there have been 3 EVA reports, and each of them gave me 7,000 funds and 3 science, so we actually broke even with the funds pretty much, because launching the plane was just over 22,000 and 3 science, 3 times 7,000 funds is 21, so yeah. And that's not even counting the advance for just taking the contract, or the money we'll be getting for finishing the contract once we finally do that. But I wanted to check something as well. No, I need to go a bit this way. Something I've seen before, but I thought I passed it, or should have passed it on the way up, but I didn't see it, so maybe it's gone. Maybe I'm just too blind. True. Yeah, the problem is when you're this close to the North Pole, you can't actually rely on the markings on your nav bar. As in the directions, north, south, east, west. Well, you can rely on them, but it's hard to figure out whether a certain point is east or east-southeast. Which is where the possibility to set the navigation for the zone came in handy. Okay, terrain sketches are coming up. Yeah, that was another thing. I was wondering in the last few videos, or actually in nearly every video up to now, where the terrain sketchers were. I was sure I had switched them on, but I never saw any. Yeah, turns out they were switched off. Or maybe that was something that happened along with the change in resolution. I'm not sure. These little trees are there are even shadows from them, at least some of them, which might be a hint that I'm a bit low. Oh well, not so low that I'm crashing into terrain. No, because that's still a ways away. However, what I'm trying to find might be a bit of a spoiler, so if you want to avoid it, you might want to skip a few minutes. If I find it, that is, so... If I do find it, I think I'll put a marker in this video when you should start skipping, or right about now, and when you can come back. But I'm starting to think I don't need to, because I'm not finding the place. Oh well. Too bad. There we are. Yeah, another thing I learned off camera is when you're doing sharp turns, you should do that under full thrust. Otherwise you're gonna end up making a nice little crater, which is always a bad idea. Okay, that's coming in a bit fast, but that's okay. We got parachutes and the... Okay. Time to roll out the chutes, turn on the brakes, and there we are. Okay. Bit of rust again, brakes off. Let's see if maybe we can roll over to the place. Roll over Beethoven. And that right there is the place I'm referring to. Bit of an Easter egg, and as I said, I found it before. Plane is a bit bouncy, but that's because the what are they called? The fuel tanks are just attached to each other in the back. So here we are. An Easter egg. I'm considering... yeah, actually I'll send Bill on EVA. Sorry Bill, but you're gonna have to get... oh, come on. Just fell over when he went down from the plane. Yeah, Bill is gonna have to get recovered by himself, because I don't think he can get back on the plane. I mean, I will try, but I don't think he can. But what I'm going to do is plant a flag. Oops. Nah, of course I can't type. Looks like a shovel recovery. Okay, that's it. Can you do an EVA report? No point. So let's see if maybe we can get him back on the plane, but I don't think so, because we don't have ladders yet. Or what were they called actually by the Kerbals? Mobility enhancers? Well, he can jump, but I don't think... Ooh! Fell over, okay, but I just... There was a... looked like he could climb something. Yes, he can climb something. So he... just trying to find a place where he can climb. There we go. Yes! Yes! I'm going insane. Well, going. But... oh. That's... actually unexpected. Board. And... recovery. Actually... now we got this already. Yeah. Actually we can take it. Keep it and recover the vessel. report while flying 2.1. Yeah, I'm not so sure that we actually got the bonus from having Bob along. And we still get 12,000 funds back, so we've actually gained 11,000. Not bad either. So the next part, the actual thing I wanted to do today, or in this episode, is find the Gagarin, or am I going to do it with the Sinatra, with a modified version of the Sinatra? Thinking about it. Because it might be a bit of a problem with the whole polar orbit. I'm not sure it's that easy to reach. Aerodynamics, that's what I wanted. Tail fins. Maybe they can help with the control a little bit. What is their mass? 0.125, and those... Ooh! A lot heavier. Oh, I think I'd take the Delta Deluxe in that case. I still have a bit more mass, but not that much. At least I hope it's... Where is it? There we go. 2 hot thermometer. Oops. We'll put that right next to the hatch and see how things go. Is that alright? Actually, yeah, they can... No. Actually, it should be enough if I do this. And... what do we call it? We call it the Orbital Genius. Science. And who's gonna be our pilot? No, Jeb just came back. Let's take Val. She can fly this thing. Save it. And there we are. SAS on. Throttle up. Actually, I'm not sure if I want full throttle. Let's do it at 2/3. See how well it launches. Yeah, that's good enough. Still too much. It's interesting. Where are we? We are at 45,000. Oh, that's a steep launch. 60, 63, 5, 6, 70. Actually, that should do it. Yeah, 77. That's... Oh, that's steep. So, we are pretty likely, or very likely, to get into orbit. Actually, I think I'm going to turn it this way a bit, just to make it a real polar orbit. Okay. 77 and climbing. Actually, we're gonna wait a bit. Okay, like this. Yeah, that should almost do it. And we're at the stage. So now comes the interesting part. Can we get an actual orbit? Thinking I might need to point a bit up again. Because as usual, when we're doing it on the last stage, we tend to fall down faster than our periapsis rises. But just a bit. Still not at our, or we are not at our periapsis anymore. Now we are. And that was almost too much. 91 kilometers by 77. Okay, yeah, that should... Actually, I think I want to bring that apoapsis down a bit again. How much fuel do we have? Oh yeah, we got fuel out the wazoo. That's 78 by 77. Yeah, that's all right. That's something we can work with. Because this thing is at 85 by 82, so they're in the general vicinity of... or they are all somewhere over 80. So that should work. That should work, and we should actually even go activate the navigation. We set no target. And yeah, there we go. We can actually turn off SAS. Our navigation target is actually pretty close to the direction we're going, so that's good. This one will probably take half a day for us to reach. No wait, which way is Kerbin rotating? This way, so it's coming up this way. And those two, I'm not sure when we're gonna hit those. Probably not on the first orbit or the third. Well, the third might be a thing. Okay, that was a weird effect. Oh, we're crossing the North Pole. Our heading is changing on the nav ball. Or we just passed the North Pole by. We got a crew report collecting survey data, and there we are. We can reset that experiment. We don't need to transmit the data. It's enough to just collect it. So we got 8,000 or 8,500 funds again, 3 science, which means we already got back half the money we paid for the launch, or half the funds, which is pretty awesome. And we haven't done these two yet, which is still I don't know what we get for those. We haven't done this one, which would probably just, if we just do this, we break even regarding the launch, and then we get even get the bonus money from finishing the contract, and again those two as well, and the bonus funds from that contract as well. So yeah. I think that's going to go pretty well. Yeah, okay. Well, we might do it on the second or third orbit actually. There's a lot of stuff orbiting Kerbin. Actually, we might even miss that one on the second orbit. Oh yeah. Wait. Actually, yeah. We might just pass between them. No, we might hit the second one. Yeah, we're gonna hit the second one. Of course it's in the dark. But hey, moon! So it might be better to do this. Oh right, and when you activate the navigation to a place, Pilot Cavern, that's what it's called, then not only does it appear on your nav ball, but when you actually enter that area, it starts blinking. What? Why is this? Oh right, I was wondering why it's going down, but of course we are passing overhead. Oh wait, where is my... It's a temperature reading. Log temperature, yes! While in space near Kerbin. Okay, that's just those. Actually, I think I'm gonna reset it and do it on the other one. Recovery 4.8 science. Cool. But yeah, 5,800 funds, which is also pretty nice. Pretty nice. Because if we count this one and... or if we count the 2 crew reports as breaking even, we got about 10,000 from the 2 temperature readings, and yeah, as I said, a couple more. I think the crew reports and EVA reports were 35,000 funds as a bonus for finishing, and 19 or 29, I'm not sure which, as an advance. Could this... might we be able to hit this one? No. At least not this orbit. Or actually, what I'm wondering is, might we be able to get hit by this one? I hope not, but yeah, you never know. You never know. Maybe I'll have to spend some more time off camera to get this one out of orbit. Yeah. Okay, let's see if maybe we can get the orbital genius. Okay, that was weird. Ah no, it's... yeah, the orbit of the orbital genius and of this debris. Both orbits are fixed and they don't intersect, so we're safe on that one. Great. Yeah, but it's going to take a couple more orbits to actually get the next crew report. Actually, I think it should be done in the next one, maybe. Or two more. Yeah, MET is 1 hour. Oh, something I wanted to do was install a mod, which is Kerbin alarm clock, because well, you know about Janby out here, who is still orbiting the moon and whose maneuver is still a couple days out, at least in-game days. I have to admit that I'm actually a bit scared of missing it. And Kerbin alarm clock would enable me to set an alarm as a reminder that Janby's maneuver is coming up and I should concentrate on not having her, or not keeping her stranded, or concentrate on getting her back. Actually, I want this... what? While the ship is under acceleration? What? Oh, so yeah, I might install that mod before the next video, if I remember to install it, which is always a question. Because my memory is not as good as it never was. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna try one more orbit and then we're going to get back to the space center. Yeah, I think we're gonna miss it. It's gonna pass underneath and we are right on the other side of Kerbin, and when we're back up, well, up as in back near the North Pole, then it has passed and we can't get it anymore. So it's still half a day out, and or actually wait, from here to here should be 3 in-game hours. Yeah, because Kerbin day is 6 hours, so it should take 3 hours to get around here, and this one is maybe 2 hours out. So we are going to leave Valentina in orbit for now. And I think I'm going to do the readings off camera as well. Maybe get her back off camera Or maybe I'm going to do it the way I did it with this video, as in collect all the readings and then have the start of next video being getting Valentina back. Then again, okay, we started this video at sunrise. Now sunset is just past. Right, that's 3 in-game hours, I think. Yeah, of course. Valentina has been around 2 hours. Yeah, as I said, how far is she out? Yeah, still 2 days. That is Jan B, is it? Yes, it is Jan B. However, right now we are at 87 science. So that means after getting the rewards from the contracts, I think we will be able to do some more, unlock some more parts. I'm not yet sure what to take. I am a bit partial to electrics, because we got a few problems with electricity, with electric charge. It doesn't last all that long. Actually, we already got batteries, so yeah, I was thinking to take electrics because of the photovoltaic panels, but actually we already got the first batteries. So once we don't hit the part limit anymore, we can also use the battery packs. So there's one thing. So a more interesting thing would probably be the fuel systems, because it gives us the next fuel tank, twice the size of the current one. Which would mean bigger rockets, which means we might even get to the point where we can, or maybe we won't get to the point where we can land a craft on the moon, which is actually the next logical step. The 90 science tier is the one with the biggest leaps until now. Then again, so were all the others. The other thing would be the LT1 landing strut, so we can actually land on the moon. But that also takes 90 science, and we are only on our way to our first set of 90 science, so maybe we'd have to land on our engines, kind of thing. It's an idea. I'm gonna have to think about it. But if, yeah, I'm mostly partial to that bigger fuel tank. Because if we take the Sinatra as an example, or even the Orbital Genius, we could replace the 6 fuel tanks in the boosters by 3, which means we got 3 more parts. We could replace those 2 fuel tanks by 1, which is another extra part. We could put a big fuel tank in here, so we'd be at 4 extra parts, which would give us batteries, let's say 2 batteries, and something to think about putting in to get a landing. We could even remove the thermometer and the antenna, which would be 2 more parts, which would mean, or which might mean, that I don't find the structural part that we could put in modular girders around the... no, not this way, this way. Around the engine as a sort of landing struts. Now I don't know how well that works with the decoupler. That's something I would feel a lot more optimistic about. If I didn't lose my train of thought all the time. No, what I wanted to say is I would feel more optimistic about it if I could test it. Maybe I will. Maybe next video is a test flight of the modular girder lander to see how well that would work. I mean, it would pretty much look like this, only with a big fuel tank on top. The lower fuel tanks also as big ones. Yeah, actually we could... no, we don't save this. We take this Sinatra. Yeah, and yeah, no, we could replace those two, or those three actually. Four parts, 5 for the antenna. Those two get replaced by bigger ones. Yeah, then we would have 5 parts put in... no, not this way, this way. Put in those girders. Hope that the decoupler works. And put in a pair of batteries. I said a pair, not 3 of them. Which would mean we should have enough electric charge for a landing on the moon and a return. I like that idea. I don't know if it's any good, but I like it. So yeah, that's what we're gonna test next time. Nope, we don't save that. So until I do that crazy test next time, you can still leave me a comment to not do it. Give me ideas how to do it in a better way. If nobody says anything, I'll just have to try. And isn't that the Kerbin way? Try anything that might work, and if it doesn't work, try it again. So, until next episode, thank you and good night.